RunDNA has an extensive range of running and walking footwear. They're trusted by podiatrists and physiotherapists. The RunDNA fitter's advice is second to none. Pop into RunDNA, 20 Manton Street, Hindmarsh, or 391 Fullarton Road, Fullarton. They're open 7 days, plenty of off-street parking. If you walk or run, you need to run DNA.
Welcome to Hooked on Sport. This is South Australia's weekly sports wrap, where we uncover the stories, personalities and moments that define sport across South Australia. It's time for Hooked on Sport with two-time Bradman medalist Ben Hook and state golf representative Sophie Hilditch.
Well, Soph, I was hoping to get Jules on to make you feel a little bit better about things, but I don't know if I've had any success whatsoever.
That made me feel completely worse about things. So well done with that one, Hookie.
Right. Well, let's talk about some other things. Let's get the Crows off our mind.
Yep.
They have been disappointing. Let's talk about some of our favourite stories going around in South Australian sport. I want to start with a bit of a spate of amazing upsets that have occurred in local sport over the last couple of days. It all started last weekend when West Adelaide Soccer Club, who were 11 points clear on top of the ladder at the end of the minor round, went out in the second semi and out in the preliminary final to go out in straight sets, which was unheard of for a team that had been so far clear. Metro Stars, it's happened in the men's competition as well. Metro Stars were 13 points clear at the end of the minor round. They won their semi-final, which was played over 2 legs. So they beat Adelaide United in both of those legs. They went into a grand final against Croydon on the weekend. They were 1-0 down in the 47th minute. They scored to equalise in the 91st minute, conceded in the 93rd minute, and a team that was 13 points clear on top of the ladder, Metro Stars, has been bundled out in the grand final with just a couple of minutes to spare. If that's not brutal, the most brutal story of the weekend, you know how I've talked to you about old collegians in the rugby union competition and how dominant they've been? They got steamrolled by Burnside in the grand final yesterday, lost 50-33. Now, no one can see this, but your eyes have just raised like dinner plates there as I told you that story. So it's just been an incredible run of absolutely devastating stories for one. Of course, it's big celebrations for the other. Just worth pointing out that in the Great Southern Football League, Wollonga were dominant all year, only lost one game for the year, I'm pretty sure. They were minor premier. They also went out in straight sets, lost to Victor Harbour in the second semi-final, then lost to McLaren Districts yesterday in the preliminary final. So we talk about the Crows being the team that has gone south in straight sets, but it's happened all over sport, Soph.
Well, Hookie, I actually was so depressed with the Crows lost on Friday that I actually go look at what our South Australians were doing over in Japan at the World Athletics Championship over there. They're competing this weekend. And I've got to say, Hookie, I reckon we've got a core group of medalists coming from the Paris Olympics competing with some high hopes of our young generational talent. I am actually, though, looking at Lizzie McMillan, who's about to compete in the 20-kilometre walk, Aidan Murphy, the sprinter, and Olivia Sandro, who's going over and doing the 35-kilometre walk. I cannot wait to see these people compete. They might have already competed by the time this show is actually aired tomorrow.
Well, Tara Palm has run the marathon this morning. She did an amazing job in absolutely brutal conditions. She ran 2:44. It's a lot slower than her best time, but this was a really difficult hilly course. And I think it was 30 degrees and 70% humidity or something like that. So you can imagine what that was like. So really pleased for Tara, who we've talked about on this show before. Yeah, 2 walkers. It's a funny sport, isn't it, race walking? I mean, the best description I've ever heard of it, it's like a competition to see who can whisper the loudest. So I've always been a little bit uncomfortable about whether I should really embrace race walking. But do you know how fast these guys go? So I don't know if you've ever seen race walkers in action, but they are genuinely a lot faster than I've run a marathon. These guys will do 42 Ks and be showered, rested up, had a hot dog, pie, Coke. By the time I've crossed the finish line myself. It's amazing how quick they are.
Well, I've actually given it a go. My school, so this is going back a fair while now, actually made you try and learn all these different sports. So I had to go give the walking a go. I was looking at it. It's so hard to do. It's a terrible move. So I actually admire these walkers.
This is great, Soph. So a couple of weeks ago, you were comparing your weightlifting to Kiana Elliott, and now you're comparing your race walking to a couple of world championship stars. I love it. I've got to tell the story about Aidan Murphy, who's a young South Australian sprinter. I think he's going to run in the 100 and 200. Of course, everyone's talking about gout,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm so looking forward to seeing Aidan Murphy compete. He holds the state record for the 100 metres here in South Australia. His mum is Tanya Van Heer. She still holds the state women's 100 metre record. So going to be great to see Aidan Murphy competing for Australia at the international level at a world championship as well. Just a quick one, Soph. I was at the lacrosse grand finals yesterday, the lacrosse SA GFs. The women's game was Brighton versus Woodville. Brighton won at 10-7. Really good game. Woodville were excellent, I thought, for a raging underdog. And then it was Glenelg who beat Brighton in the men's game. I want to give a big congratulations to the Williams family. Mel is captain of the Brighton team. And her daughters, Indy and Zephyr, both played in that team. They've played in 8 premierships together, 8 straight, as mum and 2 daughters. So I think that is just tremendously exciting. And their son, or Mel's son, Kai, transferred from Brighton to Glenelg about 4 years ago, and he won a premiership medal as well. So mum and the 3 kids, all a premiership medal in a couple of hours each other. I thought that was a lovely little story.
Oh, that's a great story. I love that one, Hookie. Well, I was actually looking at the footy for the girls and noticed that Denny Van Hagen is returning to footy with Glenelg. Now, I don't know if you remember this one. It was actually didn't believe in the COVID jab, so she didn't return to AFLW, but she was actually a 2-time premiership player with the Crows, winning in 2019 Adelaide's best defensive player. So I bet you the Bays are so excited to have her back on board.
Well, it's great that we've gone past that era where, I mean, she was sort of shunned from community, from society, and vilified for her stance, which I think we all sort of look back on that time now and think there was a whole host of things going on that in the cold, hard light of day, we can sort of look back on it and say, well, yes, it was a choice that was different to perhaps what the rest of society was making, but did she really need to be vilified and sort of shunned from the whole of the community? So it's great to see that she's back. She's going to play some footy in the Sandful W for Glenelg. She's obviously a talent. So I'm really excited for her that she's going to get that opportunity to have a run around again. And I hope she gets all of the support that she richly deserves. Hey, you know that I'm a bit of an addict of country footy, guys. Can I just give you a quick round about of what's happened in country footy over the weekend? Because there's some really cool stories. Macclesfield has won the Hills Country Grand Final by, wait for it, 115 points over Kangarilla. They only beaten them by 17 points in the second semi-final, but they've won by 115 points, so about 17 goals. It almost reminiscent of the 2007 Port Adelaide Geelong Grand Final, Soph, which I love talking about to my wife. They conceded on average 42 points a game, Macclesfield, so they're absolutely dominant in that Hills Country competition. In the Whyalla League, Central Whyalla have beaten Rapina by a point after being 21 points down at 3/4 time. So we spoke about Scott Collison last week, who played his 350th game in the second semi-final. So he's been part of a premiership team beating the minor premier Rapina. Western United beat Ceduna by 90, the Ceduna Blues, I beg your pardon. Western United, this is in the Western Air League. Western United have won by 97 points over the Ceduna Blues. Now, they won their their second semi-final over the same team, over the Blues, by 216 points. So that was a relative cliffhanger when you compare that to the second semi-final. Byron Pickett for Western United kicked 117 goals for the year in 12 games. So do your maths on the averages there. Mundalla are into the grand final against Kingston in the Cowrie Narracourt Tatiara Football League. I think this is an amazing story. They have won 17 flags in the last 41 years, and they're going for their 42nd. They won 7 straight between 94 and 2000. They've won 6 in the last 24 years. But I'll just make this point. They play in a league with Penola, with Bordertown, Narracourt, Keith and Kingston. Penola's population 1,600, Bordertown's 3,100, Narracourt 5,300, Keith 1,400, Kingston 1,700. Mundalla has a population of 315. and they are dominating that league against these fairly big country towns. So the Mundalla Footy Club, I think they're nicknamed the Bumblebees. I think they are the Tigers, but they wear a Guernsey with black and gold hoops. So they look like bumblebees. So, there they are going for another grand final, chasing their 18th in 42 years, Soph.
Unbelievable, Ben.
Wallace, what if you move us on? We might get into a bit of Sophie Starr.